All right, ladies and gentlemen. So not quite the outcome Orange County was hoping for after their big win against Phoenix. They went out to Texas and probably didn't perform up to expectations, if many fans would talk about that. And it wasn't even the most exciting match, as Orange County had a 0-0 draw against San Antonio FC. This is the Orange and Black SoccerCast.
We are underway in the postseason, the first playoff game ever played in Orange County.
It's a 1-2, Godoy. He's found a great ball into Voltson. Plenty of time. He smashes it home and doubles the visitors' lead. Thomas Voltson.
Now Segber sprinting forward on the counterattack. A little handsy there, crosses it. Pineda, the extra pass. Seaton finishes.
It rolls down to his left and burying aside. Well taken care of by the Orange County keeper.
We'll leave it for Aiden Quinn.
He'll strike towards goal! It's gone in! An equalizer and a winner in second half stoppage time for Orange County off the left boot of Aiden Quinn.
This is the Orange and Black SoccerCast, the only podcast dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, and supporters. Follow us on Twitter at OCSC_SoccerCast and on Facebook at Orange and Black SoccerCast. How's it going, Orange County? Welcome to another episode of the Orange and Black SoccerCast, the first and only podcast dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, and supporters. I'm your host, Ray Samora, and I am with you each and every episode as we discuss all things Orange County Soccer Club. Joining me as he does each and every episode, I've got my sidekick, Dylan. Dylan, how's it going?
It's pretty good. I'm pleased that I got the promotion to sidekick this week.
Yes.
I hope everyone's having a good week so far. Only a couple more days till the weekend, right?
Well, and the cool thing about this week is there's not just one soccer match, but two to talk about as far as what we have upcoming. Plus, we'll talk briefly about that San Antonio match, because I don't think there's much to discuss on that. Also joining us, as he does quite often, and he's actually joining us, I believe, from the happiest place on earth. That's Alan. Alan, how are things going?
Things are pretty good. I'm hanging out with my beginning band today at the happiest place on earth, and we are currently heading back to the Toy Story parking lot to get them loaded on the bus to head back.
That's like the best part of a trip with a bunch of kids to Disneyland, is finally getting them onto that bus, making sure you do the head count. Hopefully you didn't leave anyone behind, right?
Yeah, we got 76 graders who came with us today, so we got to make sure all 70 get back to Temecula.
Great. Well, hopefully that works out. Hopefully we don't distract you too much. Take care of what you need to, but definitely chime in when you need to or want to also. Joining us also on the phone line, we've got a couple gentlemen over from Austin. We do have a match this upcoming Saturday against Austin, so we invited them on to talk with us. They are from the Three Birds Boldcast. They cover Austin Bold FC and I believe some other soccer in that area, and that's Irving and Elvis. Gentlemen, welcome to the Orange and Black SoccerCast.
How you doing, man? Thanks for having us, guys. How y'all doing, man? Appreciate y'all for having us, man.
Yeah, no. We appreciate you taking some time to come out here. You guys had a big night tonight. You guys played your first U.S. Open Cup match. Great news for you and your fans. It was a victory for you guys. So we do appreciate you, enjoying that match and then taking some time afterwards. Plus, there's a 2-hour time difference, so I know that can make things a little bit more difficult. So again, thanks for taking some time to come help us learn a little bit more about your team and what we can expect this upcoming weekend as your Austin Bold come out to Orange County to take on our Orange County Soccer Club. Before we get into all of that, though, we do have a brief match we want to talk about. We're just going to spend just a little bit of time on it because it wasn't the most entertaining match ever. And that is, of course, the match that happened this past weekend for Orange County, as Orange County and San Antonio ended in a 0-0 draw. So that pretty much happened. Alan, share with me your thoughts briefly on that match.
I thought San Antonio started out pretty good. McLean definitely kept Orange County in the game. There was a couple of good chances early. Great header off of a corner by Forrester. That was a great save. And then it was kind of a snooze fest for the rest of the first half. The second half was definitely more open. And I thought both sides had a couple decent looks, especially the last minute or the first minute stoppage time that just went wide. Aiden Quinn putting it just wide. I thought they might get that in and kind of get a little dagger there at the end. But, I mean, pretty good game. Kind of good game in the second half. Pretty much a snooze fest first half. So.
No, totally makes sense. I got to watch bits and pieces of it, highlights, some of the game live, some of the game after the fact. Yeah, that header, I believe it was, from Aiden Quinn towards the end of the match. Had my fingers crossed. I was hoping that was going to go in. Good to see that Patrick McLean got to stay in the match because he did pick up a little bit of a knock there early on in the match in the first half, and luckily they were able to tape him up, wrap him up. Hopefully it's nothing that's going to be lingering for him. Dylan, are you disappointed that Orange County went out to San Antonio and laid an egg on that match?
San Antonio is actually a team that rarely loses at home. So I'm going to have to go out and give the team credit for playing away. We've struggled away this far this season. Generally, just for whatever reason, we just shut down. We don't play particularly well. So, yeah, to go out there and fight against a team that I forget how many. I looked it up a little bit earlier today while I was in class because that's how good of a student I am. But I looked up. They didn't lose too much at home last year, and they had a pretty bad run of form as well at the beginning of the season. So it's, you know what, I'll take it. The more difficult teams, if you go away and you draw, I'll take that most weeks, as long as you pick up the easier teams to beat away. And of course, you win at home.
And just to sort of, tie in there with you is I don't think their record quite shows their quality. I think they've been one of those teams, maybe along with us, maybe, you could throw Phoenix into that mix, that maybe has been struggling early on in the season. And, I don't know, maybe, yeah, like you said, they've been a lot more difficult of a matchup at home. I don't know if our friends from the Three Birds Boldcast have caught many San Antonio matches or have heard much going on there. But what are your guys' thoughts? Is San Antonio a tough team to beat there? Is it Toyota Field, I believe?
We haven't played them there. Actually, the only time we played them, they were actually at home, and it was definitely a tough game. We were able to get the 3 points, but yeah. And then the next time we see them again here. The next round is the U.S. Open Cup actually again at home. So we haven't actually been to Toyota Field to play them so far, but yeah. As far as I'm concerned, when I check the stats and I check out highlights, yeah, they're definitely I know they're a tough team anyways when they come to Austin, but that's it's always going to be that way with a rivalry game. But yeah, they're definitely a tough team though, for sure.
Well, especially because you guys are so close to each other. I think it's like an hour drive between Austin and the stadium for San Antonio. I don't quite know where the Austin Stadium is, so I apologize for not knowing that really well.
Middle of nowhere. Where it's at. But it's all right, man. Hey, at least y'all got a point, and most importantly, y'all got out of San Antonio. So hey, that's a plus there.
Well, Alan, let me just jump onto you one more time, and then we're just going to get past this match because, again, like Alan said, Dylan was sort of talking a little bit of a snooze fest in this match. What did San Antonio do, or was it just Orange County just maybe didn't take care of their chances that came to them?
I think it was a little bit of a combination of both. There were like 29 shots in the game, 6 total on target. I think the big takeaway is a clean sheet on the road. I would take that every single time, whether that means a draw or a win, and especially against a team that plays well at home. Orange County may be unfortunate not to take advantage of some opportunities, but a couple of those opportunities were just really good saves, getting a fingertip to put it wide early, and then that just missing that last opportunity late. But like I said, I would sign up for clean sheets on the road pretty much every time and walk away feeling pretty good.
Especially when it's one of those like long distance travels, because the trip from Orange County out to San Antonio is not the easiest trip to make. So I guess, yeah, like you said, Alan, if you can get the point in that match and then return home relatively healthy, again, depending on how Patrick McLean ended leaving that match, I guess you take that. You're still keeping pace with this crazy Western Conference where I think in the recap that you wrote, Alan, you mentioned that like Orange County is still just like a win out of 4th place at this point, depending on how things happen with some other matches. So, yeah. So unless Dylan, Alan, unless you guys have any other comments you want to talk about on this match, I think we should move forward to the upcoming awesome week we have of soccer. So Dylan, Alan, last chance to say anything on this match.
Let's move forward. It was one of those matches. Let's look to something that's actually exciting.
So a couple things coming up this week. Our next match is actually, if you're listening or watching us on the YouTube live stream, then this match is happening tomorrow. If you're listening to us on the podcast, more than likely on Wednesday morning, then this match is happening in the evening. Orange County is going to take the field in their first match of the U.S. Open Cup, the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. The second round of the tournament, Orange County being part of USL, skips that first round, and they're going to be playing against another team from Orange County. Switch one letter and it changes the team name apparently, and the whole dynamic of this match. So Orange County SC is going to be hosting Orange County FC. And to help us a little bit in previewing this match, we've brought another guest onto the show. So we just have a show full of guests here today. And we've welcomed on Art, and I hope I don't mess this up, Art, but is it Eftekari?
Yes, it is. Great job. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. And he's the match commentator. I think he also does some writing for Orange County FC on their website. So Art, first and foremost, welcome to the Orange and Black SoccerCast. We, seeing this match come up, we wanted to take the opportunity to be able to speak with you, learn a little bit more about our opponent. Because, I'll be honest, and I know maybe some people get a little upset about it. I know very little about Orange County FC. So I hope you don't take offense with that. But I just, it's one of those things. I've been an Orange County SC fan, and I've been one of those sports fans that once I pick a team, I sort of stick with that team. I follow or I watch Tottenham Hotspur out in England, so I get that whole. There's a bunch of London teams, and you only pick your London team that you're going to support. You wouldn't see an Arsenal fan supporting or cheering for Chelsea or vice versa. So Art, let us know really quick. This Orange County FC squad. Let us know, how are things going for them this season so far?
Well, for this season, they're doing well. They're second right now in the NPSL Southwest. I believe we've won 8 games, 2 losses, 2 ties. It's very similar to the 2000s. I would say it's similar to the 2017 and 2018 season of the NPSL. Just for me, a little bit of a difference this time around is that with more teams, especially since last year and now this year, there's more competition. And that, of course, makes the NPSL Southwest that much more exciting and, more rivalries. And as you know, NPSL is a regional league. So, there's more of those opportunities. You're going to play those teams all the time. And there's sometimes there's bickering going back and forth, but that's pretty normal in soccer.
And I guess in some ways, like you said, it sort of makes it easier for the fan because you're not traveling as far most of the time. I know, especially right here in Southern California, there's a bunch of quality semi-pro teams, which I think Orange County FC falls under that category there. One of them's taking part in the U.S. Open Cup tonight in Cal FC, which, depending on how that match goes with Las Vegas, either your team or Orange County Soccer Club will be facing one of those 2 teams in the next round. Tell us about the match that you had with Golden State Force, and what did Orange County FC do to come out victorious in that match?
Well, it was a good game. And, since I was FC Golden State Force of USL League 2, I think what's a little confusing to other people who are not paying attention very much is that same organization, that team Golden State Force that's coached by Robert Friedland, he's also the coach of FC Golden State that plays in the NPSL Southwest. So going into that game, the Orange County FC camp had a good clue about what to expect, but there were a few changes, and Orange County FC had defeated FC Golden State of the NPSL 4-1 just a few weeks earlier. And in that game, yeah, it was a good game. Both teams are trading opportunities. It's really hard to say which team dominated. Orange County FC did win 2-0, but a big reason why Orange County FC was able to hold on to a 1-0 lead through most of the game was because from the play of their goalkeeper David Praise, and he was brought up through the LA Galaxy Academy. So, I mean, yes, of course, asking me, yes, OCFC was the better team, but it's also fair to say that FC Golden State Force had some chances to score, but like I said, the goalkeeping was huge in that game.
And so I know with lower leagues, regardless, USL or even some of the lower leagues, there's a lot of roster turnover typically from year to year. I don't know if you experienced that with Orange County FC, but I know we had a horrid time in the U.S. Open Cup last season against FC Golden State Force. I'm hoping this year is a totally different story. I know you're not hoping that, but I'm going to open it up to like Dylan or Alan. I don't know if either of you have any questions here for Art for this upcoming match or not.
I'm guessing Alan doesn't, since he isn't.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. I mean, so Dylan, if you got something.
Yeah, I mean, two of our players used to play for Orange County FC, and that would, of course, be Danny Crisostomo and Connor Gordon. And it seems like everyone at OCFC was pleased with them getting called up to a professional league, a fully professional league where all they do is play soccer. But how nervous would you guys be if you are Orange County FC in terms of facing guys like Danny and guys like Connor tomorrow night?
Well, in terms of how nervous, I don't think that's really that's not really the word you would use. I think everyone's really excited. I think it's fair to say that going up against former OCFC players, Daniel Crisostomo and Connor Gordon, who are two great guys and great players. I think it's just expected that it's one of those things where you say, you know what, these guys are going to be able to help out Orange County Soccer Club, but can't really be surprised about that. Both teams are going to do their homework, and that's just the way it goes.
Perfect. Let me do this, Art. Do you have any questions for us heading into this match? Maybe that you want to hear about our club, or let your readers or listeners know when you get a chance to speak with them.
Well, involving Orange County Soccer Club, I must say, there was a time when I was the statistician when they were the OC Blues FC. So that was a few years back. But how are things going for Orange County Soccer Club? Is it hard to not think about the last year? And there was even a time where when they were OC Blues FC, they also lost to the LA Wolves of the UPSL. So, how are things going for everyone, for all of you, and for everyone at Orange County Soccer Club? Is there this feeling of not wanting to talk about the past?
I'm going to leave that to you, Dylan, because you're more of our historian here on the podcast.
I don't know if I really count as the historian since I've only been around for a few seasons, but no, I just generally think that in the past, the Open Cup really hasn't ever been a priority for the club. It hasn't necessarily seemed like it's been, and I get that to a point. No team has won it that's not MLS since 1999 when the Rochester Rhinos won it, and they essentially won it with a team of fringe MLS players. But I think this year it's going to be a little bit more of a bigger stage. I know the ESPN Plus thing has been highly touted, and fans have been finding it kind of randomly just as a result. But I think now, with having made a good season last year in the league and having a good depth of players currently and a good amount of fit players at that, I think Orange County could probably try and make a cup run. And it kind of seems like the press that's been coming out of their camp almost supports them trying to see what they can do and making it a couple rounds deep this season. Because we played the Galaxy in 2017, and I don't think the scoreline necessarily predicted or reflects how they played. But then last year we suffered a shock loss to Golden State Force, and 2 years ago it was the same thing. It's just or 3 years ago it was the same thing, where we're either on it and we're gonna try and play, or it just falls apart and it's a quick 90 minutes in the Open Cup and we're done.
I will say I think this season they're better set up for an Open Cup run, and I think that's sort of what Dylan's trying to talk about there. Is there's a lot more depth on this team, except for maybe up in the the striker or scorer position up in the middle of the field. Other than that, we've got some midfield depth. If you really look at it, we do have some defensive depth. I know there's been a little debate on the show about, what's going on with the defense. We have a couple goalkeepers that have both proven that they can be out there on the pitch. So I think this year's squad is built better than in previous year squads to make a potential deep cup run. And I'm hoping that's the case. I know, Art, that's not what you want to hear from us on that, but I'm hoping that's in fact the case. Really quick before we get into maybe some predictions, though, I want to know who's the player that we need to look out for as far as, or who we should be scared of from Orange County FC.
That's a tough one, but I'll go with a pretty easy answer. And for us, it's one of our new strikers, Blake Frischnecht. He was the NPSL National Player of the Week. He had 3 goals and an assist in his debut match with OCFC. It was a 5-2 win over City of Angels. And yeah, he's a really good striker, great guy, great team player. And I think that's like I said, I was going with the easy one because I'm sure if you pay attention to NPSL.com or some of the social media sources, his name would pop up.
And I don't know. I don't know if you have another question you have for us, or if you're ready to maybe get into this fun part that we like to do, which is making a prediction or a guess at this match.
I think right now, can I say I don't have all my questions right here in front of me, but I'm ready to roll with what you guys have on your agenda.
Cool. So what we're going to do at this point then, and I'll leave this out, and if our friends from the Three Birds Boldcast want to jump in and make a bold prediction, I'm sure you love how I play with the words there. But we're going to go around. We'll go around table here and just sort of pick a winner on this match. And I'm going to start actually with Alan, since he's been sort of sitting quietly for a while. Hopefully he's still there.
I am.
So Alan, who do you think's going to become or leave this match victorious?
I think Orange County Soccer Club is going to come out on top. The thing that does worry about the football club is they don't have anything to lose, so they're going to play. They're going to, play. I think with reckless abandon. Maybe I think they're going to just try and throw everything out there, which in one-off soccer games, anything can happen. Just look at Liverpool, Barcelona. So. Like literally anything can happen. A bad bounce goes the wrong way, and all of a sudden, you've got a different match. I'm gonna go with like a 2-1 scoreline. I watched a little bit of their Open Cup game. I do think they have some upfront abilities to get a ball in. Maybe they got a quick guy that can get past some of our slower defensive players. But I think maybe 2-1 scoreline when the orange and black make it through.
Awesome. What about you, Dylan?
So I watched a lot more of the game last week, of course, because I was hosting from the stadium watching the game. It is Frischnecht, correct? That is how it's pronounced?
That's all correct.
Right. I keep looking at it, and I've written about it this week, and I just look at it and go, oh, man, I don't know. So I think Frischnecht is probably one of their better players. Their outside backs looked pretty decent as well. So if they link up, I think they'll be a decent threat. What I'm mostly worried about is the mentality, and this comes from both teams. There were some heated moments in last week's match between OCFC and FC Golden State Force, and obviously that's going to come from playing each other more often. And I'm sure some of those guys know each other a little bit more as well. But then beyond that, we saw a bad performance from Orange County last year. And so what I'm hoping is that there was enough players that have come back that remembered that loss and that it was actually extremely humiliating, that they play better. So I'm gonna say 3-1 Orange County, but I do think that some combination of probably like Bryant and Frischnecht combining for a goal for the NPSL side.
Perfect. What about you, Art? What is your prediction for this match?
For me, I know it's gonna be a tough game, that's for sure. But I'm going with 1-1, and Orange County FC prevailing on penalties.
Ooh.
You were going to kill me. I do not want that. That is the last result I'd like to happen.
The
If we're going to
fun
lose,
penalty
can we do it
shootout.
in 90 minutes? Like, I don't think I have the heart strength for a penalty shootout.
Let me jump to this. If our friends Irving and Elvis from the Three Birds Bowlcast want to make a prediction on this match, knowing as little as you probably do know about these two clubs, who do you think will win this match?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know much about Orange County FC. Hell, didn't know that there was two of them. So
yeah, you're confused, guys.
So, but I'm from down here. If you're from down the street, man, you don't like each other. So I don't know how it is over there, if it's a rivalry or not. But anything can go in a game, like like y'all said already. So I don't know. And I've seen some of the schedule there. Orange County FC has scored some goals. So who knows, man? Maybe but I'll go ahead and go 2-1 to Orange County FC.
For me, I mean, the Orange and Black SC looks like y'all can score some points. I was, doing my quick search here. I was like, all right, I don't want to sound an idiot here, but it looks like both of y'all can score some goals. So you know what? I'm going 3-3 tie. There you go.
And into penalties.
And into penalties. There you go.
The thing that you either love or you either hate when it comes to soccer or football for those across the world. Really quick before I get into my prediction, I do need to, one of our people that watch us every week on the YouTube stream, pretty much, Logan, he's predicting 5-1 OCSC. So I would love to see that score outcome, of course. But my prediction.
He wants to know if Art knows Michael Bryant.
Oh, he does want to know that. Art, do you know Michael Bryant?
Yes, I do. He's been on the team since 2017. I've been covering OCFC, writing articles and doing play-by-play since then. So yeah, I definitely know Michael Bryant.
There you go, Logan. Let me get into my prediction. The thing that scares me in the U.S. Open Cup, especially with the lower league teams, I know, USL isn't considered the top league, but when you look at some of these semi-pro or amateur clubs, this is their shining moment. This is their moment in the spotlight that, they don't get much of an opportunity to be in front of the camera on a national stage with ESPN covering them on their streaming app. So that's always the thing that scares me about this. There's always going to be some of these lower division teams that are going to surprise or go far in this tournament. Doesn't mean they'll necessarily win the whole thing, but I think for lower league teams, even getting, to the third or fourth round is sort of a victory there. So that's what scares me a lot on this. But in the end, I think our depth this year is a lot better than it's been in the past. So I'm thinking that Orange County will be able to be victorious in the match. And I'm thinking 2-1 Orange County SC. I got to make sure I remember to say that, because when I just say Orange County, it could be either or. So, but my biggest hope, though, is I want to see a great match. Orange County and Southern California in general just is a hotbed of soccer talent, and to see all these teams, amateur, semi-pro, professional, that are helping develop the game and develop players and grow the sport in this area. It's amazing, regardless if you're Orange County FC, Orange County SC, Cal FC, Golden State Force, whoever you may be that's, in the area. It's awesome to see as many teams. I was rooting for Cal FC, not just because it means that we get to host another game if we win, or Orange County FC would host a game if they win, but just because it's a local team that you want to see at least be successful, except for when they're playing your squad. So that's my pick on that. Art, before you head out, is there anything else you want to share with our listeners before we let you go?
I think I'm good. It's, I'd like to thank you for having me on. It was great to be a guest on the Orange and Black SoccerCast.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us. If you want to just take a few moments, if you want to just let our listeners know where they can find you, maybe on social media or the club's website, or whatever you want to share to our listeners that are looking for more information on Orange County Football Club.
Yeah, sure. If they want to find me on Twitter, you could just go to my handle. It's art@OCFC Footy. And if anyone wants to read some of the articles I've written or learn more about some of our players, we have our player profiles. You can go to ocfcsoccer.com.
Perfect. Once again, Art, thank you for taking some time to join us on our podcast. And, best of luck to your season. Hopefully just tomorrow is not as successful for your club. But, again, hoping for a great match.
Once again, thanks for having me. See you everyone.
Awesome. So that's what's coming up for us. Again, if you're listening live or watching us live tomorrow, if you're listening on the podcast potentially later on today, or if you're listening way far down the line, it's already happened. But that's what's happening there. And then right after that, this weekend, this coming Saturday, we're hosting a match against one of the new clubs into the USL Championship, and that is Austin Bold FC. So that's one of the reasons we have our good friends here, Irving and Elvis from the Three Words Podcast. And I do appreciate your willingness to hang out with us, listen to what we had to say. I know it's, there's not much you can contribute to maybe some of that conversation there, but appreciate you hanging out with us. So I'm going to jump into this with you guys. First and foremost, before we maybe get into this match, let us know, how's the season been going so far for Austin Bold?
Man, it's been going pretty well. Honestly, it's better than what we thought because this is our first season. So I mean, out of everything that you think, it's been good, especially on the defensive end for us. It's been pretty nice, and the crowds have been pretty nice. And I mean, at the first game,
no sugarcoating that.
I mean, it's hard, because we have that Austin FC coming in 2 years, so a lot of people are kind of like gearing up for that instead, but. The season's been pretty nice for us so far. I mean, it's been
undefeated at home.
Undefeated at home, and it's been a good time for us, really, honestly.
So you brought up that other Austin team that's going to be coming in a couple years. By the way, their billboards are a little misleading when you see some of those images that have been going out. How has that impacted Austin Bold in their first season? Are you guys, or has the club mentioned, or have you seen it maybe impacting the attendance from what you guys were expecting or anticipating? Because like you said, you have some fans, maybe they're just holding off until MLS because it's MLS.
It's hard to say, because I think there's a lot of other things that go into that, and it's hard to say, to be honest with you. It's like
we've never really tried to get into all that. We support who we support, and if you want to support who you do, it is what it is, man. But we can't really tell, but we can't really say, but and something. The first game you get 5,000 fans, and ever since then, it's pretty much like about 1,200. So, we really don't know what is contributing, because we really don't try to get into all that. Pretty much you say anything online that disagrees with the other side, and then, you just can't cuss on it. But
it turns into a trash show on the internet. So we kind of try to stay out of all that, really, to be honest with you.
Totally get it. I totally understand. And it all has to do with the growing pains of a new club, a new team, trying to find what's going to make you guys or Austin Bold and draw the fans and make things happen. Has the stadium location maybe played any kind of part into the attendance numbers that you guys have seen, as far as you guys know, or maybe even just your thoughts on that?
That's definitely one of the excuses that I hear, for sure, is, it's not a downtown stadium, whatever. But, for me, it was, even before, even new MLS was, even trying to come down here, it really doesn't matter to me where the stadium's at. I was going to go anyways. But, there's definitely those folks that definitely say that location. I guess it depends on where you're at, man. Austin's really, it's a big area. It's not just, Austin proper, man. There's a lot of small little suburb parts of it, and it all really depends where you're at, man. If you're South Austin, you're pretty much closer to Dakota than you are, traveling up north, past downtown, and that's a pain in the ass, really, to get past downtown too, to get to, the proposed stadium site, that they got going on. So it definitely plays a part, for sure.
Awesome. Dylan or Alan, do you have any questions, just general questions with the guys from the Three Birds Podcast before we get into the match?
Alan, I'll let you go first if you have anything.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the first and only professional soccer team in Austin come to Orange County. Heyo. You guys will keep it classy. I'm gonna bring the heat. I know that you guys mentioned your defense. Are there any offensive players that you guys are excited about keeping an eye on Saturday?
For me, I really like this guy, Sonny Guadarrama. He's a hometown kid for us. He's He's one of our own. He's one of our own, and he can. Yeah, I mean, he knows how to work football. Really, man. He's awesome all around player.
Hold up plays are right, and he's not afraid to take a shot from outside the box as well. Man, he's made a couple this year, so yeah, definitely Sonny's one to look at, for sure.
Yeah, it's always cool when you get. It's always cool when you get those homegrown guys to come up. I think it just makes it even more special.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's pretty cool to have him there, and and for us here in Austin on the home games, and you just hear, especially the kids, you just hear Sonny's name through the stadium. It's actually pretty cool to see that going on too, man.
Dylan?
Is it my turn to go, Ray?
Yeah,
Okay,
go
it's
for it,
my
Dylan.
turn. So the only Austin match I've watched this year was the one against Phoenix. I didn't watch the full match, if I'm entirely honest. Oh, it's a lie. I watched part of the match against San Antonio as well. But how does Austin generally set up? I know they've played pretty well at home. They are in 7th, so 4 wins at home is not bad. I would take that. And then away, they haven't done as well. Does it vary home and away how they set up for a match, or is it just they seem to perform better in front of a home crowd?
No, they definitely, Coach Marcelo's definitely had some different looks throughout the season, and but for the most part, man, that back line has been the only thing that's stayed the same, pretty much. But I don't know, man. It just doesn't travel, I guess, man. I don't know if it's just the home cooking or what it is that, just gives them that extra kick. And when I do watch games from away, they definitely a step slower, for sure. But when they come home, it just seems like, they just got a little bit more pep in their step, for sure. But, I really can't explain it to you too much about that, though, why they doesn't seem to travel too much.
Do you have anything else, Dylan?
Who's a potential weak link for you guys besides Diego Restrepo?
Damn it, boy.
Tell us how you really feel.
Just to let you guys know, Restrepo's not a fan favorite in Orange County based on some things that have happened in past seasons. So that's where Dylan's coming. Dylan is I think, out of all of us, Dylan is the most against a Diego Restrepo that there could be on this podcast.
Okay, I got you. That's a good question, man. I don't. So who's the weak link?
Yeah, man. Throw the kids say throw some shade at somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we're a little bit critical on our podcast. I know about people, look down and all that crap, and probably not supporting you do that. But it depends on who they start, man. I know the other day they started Fabian Garcia, and he was a little younger, and he had a few things, a couple, mistakes here and there. But other than that, for the most part, McFarland, he's been pretty good so far. I don't know. I don't really see it there. He's also pretty good when he runs down the wing and throws in some pretty good crosses, man. So, it all depends on who's starting, really, to tell you the truth. Yeah.
I have to say, if y'all got speed, the speed down the wing kind of makes me pucker up sometimes. That's for sure.
Yeah, we had the guy from OKC.
From OKC,
yeah,
Gordon.
Yeah, he used to play for San Antonio SC. I don't know if you ever got to look at his ass.
Damn, but he had me puckering up all game long, and I didn't like it.
And I think y'all do got a little bit of speed. I saw a few of y'all's little highlights, man. So there's definitely a few guys on there that I've seen that are probably give them a little tough time, I guess you could say.
Well, I'll take that as a win for us because we've got loads of pacey wingers, and you guys just prepare to pucker up then.
So I'm almost anticipating a Vinicius start then on this match if pace is the kryptonite for Austin Bold.
Oh yeah, Vinicius, DJ. Someone tell Jerry just to go route one and go to the goal himself. Oh man,
it's just like Vinicius just like running like Tasmanian devil all up the middle of the field too. I know they said the wings, but when you guys watch, if he plays against you guys, you'll see this guy just like is 110% the whole time he's out there, just putting the high press on the defense whenever he can. So if what you're saying is true, it definitely, I know, is making Dylan, Allen, and myself smile a little bit there hearing that.
Yeah.
What does Austin have to do then to become or to be victorious in this match? In your eyes, what's the game plan that would work for Austin to be successful? I know you guys probably don't know much about Orange County, but just from what you've seen from them so far this season, what's been the most successful strategy for them?
Man, if you ask me this, well, they were playing like crazy today. I mean, they were their touch passing was ridiculous today. It was nice to see. I mean, it's starting to they're starting to get Coach Marcelo's game plan down, and it's only their touch passing has gotten ridiculous today. I mean, that was today, and it was pretty nice to see, to be honest with you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And I'm going to apologize really quick because there may have been just a brief drop in the audio there. So if you're listening on the live stream or on the podcast, there was just maybe 5 or 10 seconds there on that. So I apologize for that. Let's do this. Do you have any questions for us regarding this match coming up?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of them, I guess. I guess the first to start off with, I mean, like I said, I haven't seen a whole. I saw a few highlights of y'all's games here before. Y'all said that y'all wanted us to come on here. So set pieces. This Fresno, Phoenix, and OKC were able to find it back in the net on a few set pieces. Is that something is that maybe something a kryptonite for y'all?
Dylan, Allen, do one of you want to take that one?
It was honestly choppy, so I didn't hear what was asked.
I was asking about the set pieces, and has that been our kryptonite as far as defending set pieces this season?
I think that's entirely fair. We gave up a couple goals against Tulsa doing that, and then last time we conceded against Phoenix, it was the same deal where we had a guy that was, I'm going to look up how tall Adam John's listed at. He's listed at 6'3". Aiden Quinn, who's I think 5'11".
Dropped out again for some reason. I'm having some internet issues today. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Internet issues. For those of you that know internet, sometimes it's not reliable. So Dylan was basically just agreeing if I don't know how much of that caught on there, but Dylan was basically agreeing that is a potential kryptonite for us. Hopefully no more internet issues here as we continue. Go ahead, gentlemen. Did you have another question for us?
Yeah, so who's y'all's alpha of the team? Who's the one guy that we have to just go ahead and watch out for?
Who's y'all's war daddy, man?
Christian Duke. I'm just kidding. Vinicius, who should probably play tomorrow night. Other than that, our pacey players, so I'm sure Darwin Jones will probably play. He's quick, and he plays on the wing. That will probably cause some issues. Ray has left the meeting again.
It's still going. It's still going.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I would say probably Darwin Jones, Vinicius, and then assuming they go with the same game plan that they've gone the last few times, coming on about an hour in, Michael Seaton. Those three combining, they play really well together, and they play really well off of each other, and they cause a lot of issues for teams throughout the league. So I don't see that changing on Saturday.
I gotcha.
And I think if Harry Forrester can continue his decent play, I think he's been kind of crafty. He's had a couple good looks, and he's kind of that. Yeah. So we'll see.
Goal from outside the box. Was that him the other day?
What was that again?
Was Forrester the one that had that nasty ass, goal from outside the box the other day?
A couple weeks ago, he scored from against Fresno.
Yeah.
He's the guy that'll take a shot from 25, 30 yards, which generally drives me up a wall. But he gets pretty close. So yeah, he's definitely, that's a foot to, if if someone's backing off of him and he's 25 yards out, he has no issues lining the shot up and having a go.
He's one of the guys that we've been a little critical of because, at least in my eyes, I've looked at him. He's been trying too hard to, show his worth to the club. When you come from as a player that played out in Scotland, played for Rangers, played in England, you probably have proven yourself to be at least somewhat quality out there on the pitch. So I think his time so far at OC has been really a lot more trying to prove himself instead of just playing within the flow of the match. I'm hoping with the recent run of form that he's had, he's sort of finding his role on the team, and it's going to be a little bit better. But like Dylan said, yeah, he's the guy that when he has an opportunity, he's going to take that crack on net, and hopefully it slowly will build where he's going to actually make more than not.
All right. How about you? Anything else, bud?
No, I think I'm good on the questions. I just been texting Coach Marcelo now, all the things, so yeah. I'm really kidding, guys.
No. I love that because that's something we sort of joke about when we have guests on our podcast asking for the weak spots of the team. We talk about, because we actually have had players listen to our podcast in the past. So it's one of those things I always joke about. If you're going to share with us, just know, some of our players might be listening to what you're saying.
There you go.
I don't think they necessarily get to have any say in the tactical decisions. In the squad.
I'm sure.
I'm sure that Cloutier and Nugent and Weiss and Chaplow, I'm sure I'm forgetting someone else, have watched a lot of tape, probably the last 3-4 games from Austin, and they already know what to look out for. And already know to exploit additionally. But yeah, I would definitely, if you're passing anything on, watch out for Christian Duke because he's pretty damn good.
Yeah, we ain't too worried about that. I don't know how many people actually been listening to us even though we're even on here. So we'll share whatever.
You know what? This whole podcast thing is a thing of love. We were in your shoes probably Dylan, like a year ago, basically from this point, I believe, or a little less than a year ago. We just got started officially, I think last June or last late May. So
it was last June.
We're right about our year birthday here, and we've done it, and we've been slowly growing. It's one of those things. You do a podcast out of love. Anyone thinks they're going to jump onto a podcast and instantly become a millionaire and be worldwide famous. You're in the wrong spot. That's
really what you promised me that.
I did, didn't I, Dylan? No, but this is all out of love. And I think Dylan, Alan, and myself, we can all probably pretty much say, at least I know Dylan and I have discussed this. I haven't really gotten to it with Alan as much. This is sort of like a highlight of the week to be able to actually just get on a microphone, just talk a bunch of craziness about soccer, which is a game we all love, and a team that we follow in our eyes, Orange County, and I'm sure for you guys in Austin Bold FC, which is it's fun, and you make these friendships, you meet people. Dylan and I have gone on some I've done one trip, Dylan's done a few trips to different stadiums to cover teams, and it's just this neat thing, this neat sport, this beautiful sport called soccer, and this whole thing is just all out of love of the sport and the teams we follow.
Well, yeah, man, that's pretty much why we started doing this. We come from just little stuff talking between, you see friends and family and uncles and all that, man. And there really wasn't much, nobody was really saying much about Bolt, man. And from the beginning when they announced it, man, I remember I called E right away and was like, hey, man, we got to get some season tickets to this. We got to get going, man. And, we waited and nobody was putting out a podcast. Well, what the hell with it, man? We might as well just do it ourselves, man. We love the sport and we sure as hell love the club, so here we are, man. And
we saw that, like when we saw you guys start your podcast. I mean, I want to say we were one of the first podcasts to follow you guys because we were excited to see that. And now that we're in the point where we are a year into this and we have a little bit of experience doing a podcast, we want to help share that and help grow whoever wants to do this whole thing. So that's one of the reasons why when this match came up, I wanted to reach out to you guys right away to see about joining us for this episode. And it's been definitely a fun episode so far. At least I can say that for myself, and I'm sure Dylan and Alan will share that thought here. Let's do this because I don't want this thing to drag out. We tend to, as we get towards the end of the episodes, we tend to just start talking and it drags things out a little bit. I want to get into this match as far as the predictions. So we like to do like a prediction for the match. Who do you think is going to win? And then maybe who's going to be the star for the match. I want to give you guys a chance to maybe think of your thoughts on that because you're new to this, at least on our episodes. Me, Dylan, and Alan are used to this coming up. So, Alan, I'm going to jump to you because I haven't heard your voice in a while. What are your thoughts on this match? Who's going to win? Who's going to be the key to the match?
I think it's going to be 2-0. Orange County's been playing really well at home. They've won 3 in a row so far, and I think McLean's been playing well. He's going to keep a clean sheet, and I think Vinicius is going to find his way back onto the board. Sorry, Dylan, if I stole your thunder. 2-0. Vinicius is going to put some points in, and McLean's going to keep a clean sheet.
All right, Dylan, how about yourself?
I have to say I'm expecting good things out of Darwin Jones this match. And Michael Seaton as well. I think they were singled out Michael Seaton was singled out as like the key to the rest of Orange County's season. I'm not necessarily sure that's fair. We've seen below average service to him at the beginning of the season. So I think, this would be a good spot for Seaton to get a brace and keep that confidence high, and for he and Darwin Jones to continue to link up, and for Darwin to put some pain on some guys and score a couple more goals.
Did you pick a score?
2-0. You know what? No. You know what? Diego Restrepo is their goalkeeper. 3-0 Orange County.
How about our friends from the Few Birds Volcast? I don't know who wants to go first on the prediction of the score and the star or the key player.
For me, this is Elvis here. I'm thinking, like I said, if it wasn't these past 2 weeks, I would say that it'd be hard for us to score. But right now, the offense is starting to click, which I've been hoping for a while now. That's what I've been saying. I've been waiting for this offense to finally start clicking. So I'm thinking that I think they have 2 goals in them. So I'm gonna go with they're hopefully getting their win away with Bold and getting a 2-1. And the star I'm thinking is gonna be Sonny again. He's been playing his butt off now these past few weeks. So I think Sonny and Lima are probably gonna be connected a little bit. They have been at least. So I'm hoping that's what happens when they go up to Orange County for sure.
Awesome. Me, definitely after today's game, I know, they were Roughnecks have been playing, some pretty good football. They've scored some goals, and I know y'all scored some goals. So, before this, definitely get a little weary. But and after what I saw today, man, hopefully they can keep it going and hopefully get a win, man, get 3 points. I definitely see, like I see 2-1, but I see it, coming from this guy named Troncoso. If he gets another start, man,
I forgot about that.
Man. Check him out, man. I think he's gonna give y'all a little run for y'all's money a little bit there. So check out Troncoso, and man, for sure, man. Guadarrama again, dude. He's been hot here lately, and I think he gets himself another goal too, man. So 2-1, man, is bold.
So perfect. Before I give my prediction, again, Logan's been listening out and he's thrown out his prediction on the comments on YouTube live. He's predicting 2-0 OCSC with Patrick McLean being the star of the match for Orange County. I'm going to pick a score of 3-2. This is all just sort of going off of as long as Restrepo doesn't take out Michael Seaton outside of the penalty box and get away with it. If that happens, then who knows what the score will be. It might be something a lot different, but I'm hoping I'm thinking 3-2 Orange County. Hopefully I'm right. I still think I'm still looking for my first correct prediction of the season. So hopefully this becomes that correct prediction at this point. Really quick before we get to the end of our show, and gentlemen, just so you know, so you can sort of prepare here, at the end of each episode, we do a random thought. It could be soccer related. It could be unsoccer related. I do have to ask you guys this, and this is not related to the game, but this is just related to the fun promotions that happen in soccer. Up until this season, Vegas has been the king of crazy, fun, weird, random promotions. I know visiting Austin a year ago, the city motto, keep Austin weird. So, obviously Austin's going to be the best.
We're just outside of weird, man. We're a little outside of weird.
Austin's going to be the best option and the best city that could dethrone Vegas for being, weird, random, crazy, whatever. You guys have already started that with the whole bring the farm animal to a game thing, and then hearing all these animals on the ESPN stream, or that's
local 4-H and FFA out there, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me ask you guys: are you guys all on board with that? Like, let's just do the most random, weird promotions at the games, or do you guys look at it as let's stay away from that? Let's just focus on soccer. What are your guys' thoughts on all that?
For me, it's I'm just going to the game. You want to do your weird promotion, go for it. I'm probably not going to pay attention to it, but do what you got to do to sell tickets, right? Have at it, Austin.
To me, man, yeah, same thing for me. It ain't weird to us. Like I said, we're outside of weird. We're actually at, those, suburbs and, podunk towns on the outside. That's where we're from. So, and to us, farm animals and all that wasn't that weird. But yeah, bringing them over, I can't really say nothing about that. Do what you do, do you. And I'm just going to go watch football, man.
Now, did either of you guys actually bring an animal to that match, or?
No, actually, what, dude? It's all right, man. I hear that outside my door every single day, man. I don't even worry about it, man. I'm used to that. But, man, it was actually, that game was right after, just like today's game, man. It was right after work, man. So we came out, dirty as hell. And, so, yeah, we didn't have time to, grab a gallito or a chicken or anything like that to take to the game. So.
Oh, can I just say, because I don't know if you guys know, at the end of each season we do this is only going to be our second time. We do the Orange and Black SoccerCast Awards. One of our categories is Guest of the Year, and I can just honestly say you're probably right now both of you are front runners for that award, because this has been one of the funnest conversations that I've had when dealing with guests that we've had on the show. Dylan, I don't know if you agree with that, and Alan, I don't know if you agree as well.
This is, the fact that I've just been playing cow sounds for like 2 minutes, and you guys are laughing about it and like recognizing that it's
the real thing if you want.
No, I think I'll pass.
Right now, but.
Well, just so you guys know too, is that has become our unofficial, official. Anytime we have breaking news on our live broadcast on YouTube, Dylan plays that sound, and then we announce whatever that official, whatever that announcement is. So, Dylan, you can put this on there. If Orange County beats Orange County FC, if Orange County SC beats Orange County FC, then we will be traveling to Las Vegas to face the lights in the next round of the U.S. Open Cup. Dylan,
I'd like to travel, but
cue the moo.
Hold on.
Do I need to get our friends from the Three Birds Bowlcast to get a real cow on here just so we can have a legit sound on this? There you go, Dylan.
There you go.
Do you want another?
So let's do this. Let's wrap up the show. Because like I said, we just start talking about random stuff, and I think we're getting to that point. So we're getting to the point of the show where we wrap things up. We just say, you share a random thought. It could be anything. Dylan likes to read poems or share a literature recommendation that I don't think anyone has ever read, but he likes to continue to do so.
Like 3 people. Okay,
3 people. Alan, let me start with you. Alan, what is your random thought to end this episode?
Well, my random thought today has got to be about taking 145 middle school students to Disneyland over 2 days. It's super fun. They get to make some music and record some stuff to Disney movies and park attractions. And it's really cool to see them get to perform, and today they've composed their own soundtrack. So it's always a pleasure to get to teach them some skills and then see it actually show up in practical applications when you have no control over it. So it's really cool. And then they behaved themselves, and everyone made it back to the bus. So we are currently on the road, headed back home. I'm going to do it again tomorrow, and I'm super stoked.
Awesome. What about you, Dylan?
Oh, I was muted. I'm so sorry about that one.
Oh yeah.
It happens, you know?
I've done it
Try not
before.
to make too much noise while clacking away on my beautiful mechanical keyboard. So this week, just like to say, if you work in a job with coworkers you dislike, or you like the tactile feeling of some things, or you just want a quality keyboard in your life, I'd highly recommend a mechanical keyboard for any of your needs. Especially some of the aluminum ones are pretty nice. Anything with cherry keys is pretty solid. If you're coming from a typical island keyboard from a laptop, or a rubber dome keyboard from your garbage Dell that your company has bought for you, Cherry MX Browns might be where you're looking towards, because they have a nice bottoming out. But if you just like that clean through feeling, Cherry Reds. And if you absolutely, and I mean truly, hate everyone around you, Cherry MX Blues are the way to go. They are very, very clicky, and very, very annoying, but those are well worth it.
Did you get sponsored like in this last week when we haven't been talking to you? Do you have are you getting paid to announce whatever these keyboards are?
No, I haven't given you a brand. And so if anyone's curious as to the brand of my keyboard, you can DM me on Twitter. But this week for my my literature recommendation, I'm going to go ahead and recommend, it's actually a book of poems, so you can read anything from it. It's a book called Lunch Poems by Frank O'Hara. Oh, and my last random thought is about the USL concussion thing. I tweeted this, but basically it doesn't work if you don't train refs to not suck. And USL refs are pretty bad. We watched Jerry Van Wolfgang get tabletopped earlier this season. Nothing
Jerry
happened for
Van
5 minutes.
Eyvike. Come on, get it right.
You can't even pronounce how No, Ray, no.
Oh,
but
for you gentlemen from the Three Birds Boldcast, the match against San Antonio, the announcer kept saying his old name instead of his current name. So, yeah. Dylan, finish your thought really quick, and then we'll get to Elvis and Irving.
All right, and then elsewhere we saw Christian Duke get his nose broken last year by a Los Dos player. You're just going to see guys go headhunting for the sole purpose of they'll take a yellow card in exchange for having a guy get subbed off, especially if it's one of the bigger name players at a team. And it's stupid, and it's just the USL trying to be like the cool uncle of soccer in the US, but they're just saying things and none of it means anything. And maybe that's cynical, but I feel like it's also pretty realistic. The USL is not our friend. They're just a league. So you should support your club and then the league. I'm done ranting about how things are done.
See, gentlemen, I mean, you can be critical of stuff on these podcasts and
you just tell me I'm wrong. I mean, I understand.
Elvis, Irving, any random thoughts to share with our listeners?
Oh man, right now my only thought is, so me and my brother actually, like he told you, we live out in the outskirts right now. All I can really think about, I got an hour drive back home. We live in 2 separate towns, so all I'm thinking about is my long drive right now, boys.
Drive safe.
My random thought pretty much is just thinking this whole time that don't F this up. These guys let you on their podcast. And so let's just say it's about the cleanest podcast we've been on so far, man. So appreciate y'all for having us on, man. And at any moment here, I was trying not to slip up a little bit. So
well, as the cow noises just brought you back home. That's why we're just really inviting here on the Orange and Black SoccerCast.
I think we're one of the most open and willing. We love to have guests on our show. I think because Dylan and I, when we started this as just we've never done a podcast before type thing. And we looked at bringing a guest and people were willing to come on, and it just started working. We've built some friendships. We both traveled up to Reno for the opener this season, and one of our favorite guests that we've had so far, although again, you guys are sort of going to get into this territory. We're going to make John a little jealous here, but we got to go up to Reno, meet John and his cohorts for what is it, Dylan? I can't remember the name of the podcast now. Look at that. I'm so distracted by these Austin guys.
1868 Weekly.
Yes.
Hosted by John Macaluso.
Yes.
Matt Rafferty and Brad Polonsky.
There we go. Dylan is the person that knows everything on this. I'm just the one that sort of
I know
runs
nothing.
things, I guess.
Do not charge me with that.
No, but we've actually built some friendships, soccer-based friendships off this podcast. That's why we love having guests on, and anytime anyone's willing to come and spend time, especially like you guys are out in Austin. It's like almost midnight soon here, and you guys are still talking to us, which we appreciate so much. And I'm sure our listeners will appreciate it because you've been so entertaining and whatnot. Really quick, my random thought, and I need to ask you guys to do this for me. And I know you can't see what I'm going to throw up here on our YouTube feed, but I was in Austin about a year ago. There's this place in Austin. There's this place in Austin where you can go and get some spray paint and you can tag on the walls, and it's totally fine. I went out there and I tagged COYS for people that don't know that is come on you Spurs. I'm a Tottenham fan. I need you guys to go check. I'm sure.
Get out of here.
You guys got to go make sure it's still there for me, and if it's not, you guys got to put it back on for me. You got to redo it. No, but let me just
right on top of the hand, just like on my forearm, buddy.
I take it you're not a Spurs fan.
No, I'm a Liverpool fan.
Go Red.
Go Red. There we go.
This is the new Podmance, everyone.
You know, we may have to bring you back on because I think Alan and I have been discussing, because Alan is a huge Liverpool fan. I'm a huge Tottenham fan.
There we go.
I'm a huge Tottenham fan. We both, I think, experienced like the greatest matches of our lives last week. I think is when it was, right, Alan? Liverpool pulled off this amazing upset or come from behind against Barcelona. Tottenham in the second half against Ajax was able to somehow pull off this miraculous 3-goal hat trick by Lucas Moura. So I think we're planning on doing we're going to do some sort of Champions League preview. We might have to welcome you guys back. If you guys are Liverpool fans, I'm going to ask Alan who he wants to bring on to support his team. I'm going to look for some Tottenham supporters, and we might do like a special episode. So you might hear from us here soon on that.
Hell yeah. Hey, man. And anytime, man, thank y'all for having us again. And anytime, I mean, y'all actually come to, good part of Texas, if you ever go make a trip to Texas, don't
Austin's amazing.
Or
Austin is awesome.
down there, or San Antonio. Come to Austin, man, and hit the cigar vault with us a little bit, drink a couple coldies, man, and we'll have a good time, man, if you ever, come out this way, man, for sure.
When I was in Austin, I did the one-day road trip down to San Antonio. I was there for like 3 hours, and I had to get the heck out of there. It was like 105 degrees. That's the reason. But also, I mean, it just didn't compare to what Austin had as far as what me and my wife were enjoying. We loved Austin. We were out walking around. I think there was one night, it was midnight in Austin. It was like 100 degrees out there. We're just walking down the street to get back to our hotel. So it was pretty awesome. Really quick before we end this, gentlemen, do you want to let our listeners know where to find you on social media, websites, whatever it may be?
All right. Well, before the start, I hate to break it to you, but that I was going to let you know on your random thought that the graffiti park is actually closed.
It's now closed. All them people from out of town is coming out.
That's gone. Sorry about that, bud.
Darn it.
Yeah, there's actually like RIP Austin, like right outside, big old sign somebody put out there too. So,
well, that's
it's definitely going.
Yeah, but
yeah, to find us, go ahead, E. Oh, you want me to take this, man? Just Twitter, man, at T-Boldcast, and on hopefully the SoundCloud, Three Birds Boldcast, and hopefully we'll be up on Spotify here pretty soon too, man. So, I appreciate y'all for having us, man. Definitely.
That Spotify thing is always the most difficult thing to achieve. It took us like 9 months to do it, but we finally did it. Keep fighting it, keep doing it, keep pushing it, get on there. Yeah, that was the most difficult one for us to get on, was Spotify. So hopefully you guys don't have as difficult time with as we did. Hey, I always forgot to do this. I'm gonna get this eventually, but I'm supposed to mention this towards the beginning of the episode, but it's towards the end. For those of you listening, do remember that the Orange and Black SoccerCast is brought to you by Golden Goal Press and also Roughneck Scarves. So you can find out more information about that if you go to bgn.fm and find that information on there. You can follow us on Twitter at OCSE_SoccerCast, I think is the correct one. If I'm forgetting, you can find me at DJ Ray Samora. Dylan, what about you?
You can find me on Reddit or Twitter at OCSC_Dylan.
Alan?
A Underwood 48 on the Twitter machine.
Perfect.
All of his kids are going to go find him on Twitter now.
For Alan, for Dylan, for our friends from the Three Birds Bowlcast, Elvis and Irving, this is Ray, the Orange and Black SoccerCast, and we are out.
Win or lose, we will
to our sponsor, Golden Goal Press, the best choice for you to get custom shirts, hats, mugs, and other items for just yourself or your organization. Check out their amazing products at a fraction of the price of other places at goldengoalpress.com. Also, thanks to Roughneck Scarves, official scarf supplier to the MLS, USL, and US Soccer. Get custom scarves for your group or team at roughneckscarves.com.